Networking sessions is not about passing out business cards because many of them end up in the trash can. Networking is about making connections. Hi there, I'm Craig Travasso, a communication coach, voice artist, and TEDx speaker. And in this video, we're going to learn the power of networking. The more quality connections we have, the greater is the possibility of success. So often I hear people say that they are afraid to go to networking meetings because they're unsure of what to say to others. Well, in this video tutorial, I'm going to share with you practical tips on how to network at meetings. Networking is so vital, whether you are a college student, part of an NGO, a professional, a corporate, or an entrepreneur building a business. The three key benefits of networking are: firstly, networking helps you build relationships as you meet with people for the first time and get to know them. Secondly, networking builds revenue as it opens up opportunities and possibilities with potential clients, vendors, or well-wishers who could become your support group. Thirdly, networking builds confidence because you step outside your comfort zone every time you reach out to connect with someone you don't know. I mean, think about it. You have no certainty of knowing whether the other person will respond to you or not. In networking, you embrace this uncertainty. You put your best foot forward. You extend your hand and introduce yourself. Every time you do this, your confidence improves. As you can see, networking builds relationships, it builds revenue, and it builds confidence. Here are two key factors of success: what you know and who you know. Let me explain. What you know speaks of your domain expertise, your subject matter, your product or service, your key responsibilities. It is vital that we continuously stay updated in this area and be aware of the latest trends, developments, and updates in our domain. That's how we will achieve expertise. That covers what you know. The other key aspect is who you know. This speaks of people, subject matter experts, industry professionals, potential clients, key vendors, influencers, or service providers of similar businesses, etc. Once you identify your area of interest and gain a significant knowledge of it, then you need to start putting yourself out there and getting to know people. Please understand, people will only take you seriously if they feel that you know your domain. That's why what you know comes first, and then who you know. If you ignore the aspect of who you know, that is, connecting with people, then you will miss out on opportunities in life. Some people have social anxiety, that is, a fear of speaking to strangers. This can become a huge hurdle for your personal growth. So in this video, I will share with you ways to help you network with others in public gatherings. Remember, networking sessions is not about passing out business cards because many of them end up in the trash can. Networking is about making connections. The networking room. If you are in a room with people whom you want to connect with, consider these 5 key factors. First, smile. It's a signal to invite a conversation. Secondly, be the first to extend your hand for a handshake as you greet the person. Thirdly, maintain eye contact and don't get distracted with the surroundings. Fourthly, learn the other person's name. And fifthly, listen carefully as you communicate with others. These 5 factors are key to building a positive first impression. The other day, someone asked me, "Do you have any networking tips as I'm going for an event?" I replied to them with one word: listen. Listening shows people you value them. Listening builds respect, and respect helps you build connections while networking. Listen to their name, their company name, the products or services their company provides. Listen to their requirement, that is, how they are looking to grow their venture. At a networking event, here are a few questions you could ask someone you are meeting for the first time. Tell me a little about your initiative or business. We use the word initiative if you are speaking to founders of a non-profit organization. Or you could ask, in your business, what is the problem that you are solving? Or, what's the recent exciting project you've worked on? Now, as the person communicates, listen attentively. Don't be impatient to tell the person your area of expertise. People value active listeners. As the person gives you details of their initiative, ask them a few follow-up questions so that you can understand them better. Once you've listened and understood their value offering, and if you feel that they are trustworthy, then you can identify ways how you can help them. Here are 3 examples. Perhaps you can help them by sharing a personal requirement or a referral of someone else who can become their customer. Or you can share a reference of a vendor that can support them in their venture. Or you can even ask them if they are looking for any specific connect that will help them grow their venture. The intention is to get to know more about their organization and support them in any way if possible. Now, as you attentively listen to them and genuinely get to know more of their initiative, they will soon respond by asking you about your venture or initiative. When someone asks you to introduce yourself and your company, consider these 3 aspects. Firstly, say your name and company name slowly so that it gets established in their mind. Secondly, speak of the problem your company solves or the key customer benefits. Thirdly, mention a few of your clients to add credibility to your introduction. For example, if you are a digital marketing agency, you could say, "I'm Craig and I represent DMA, a digital marketing agency specializing in creating impactful ad campaigns in the form of videos and social media posts. We have successfully executed social media campaigns for companies like X, Y, and Z, and have significantly increased their brand visibility. So Rahul, is there any way we can support your venture?" If you noticed what I did, I mentioned my name, the company name, then spoke specifically on the service offering. I followed that up with client examples which added credibility. Then I showed customer benefit when I said increased online brand visibility. And I ended my company introduction with the question, "Rahul, is there any way we can support your venture?" This makes the other person to respond to you with a clear yes or no. They may refer you to another contact who could utilize your services. You could later evaluate whether it would be feasible and profitable for you to work with them. If for any reason you've worked with less popular brands, I encourage you to mention their names and specify the industry. For example, we have worked with brands like BQT in the personal care space, LGZ in the logistics space, and DTG in the detergent space. Now, If you find yourself in a conversation with someone who is an employee of an organization, you could ask him or her these 4 questions. Firstly, which organizations are they part of? Secondly, what is their role in the organization? Thirdly, based on their response, you could ask them to tell you a little bit more on the responsibilities they handle. And fourthly, then ask them, does their department work with external vendors? For example, does your department conduct communication workshops with external trainers? Or does your company have a dependable corporate gifting supplier? In this manner, you bring up a possibility of working with them as an external vendor. Social anxiety. If you suffer from a bit of social anxiety, that is, you feel awkward speaking with strangers, then you could overcome this in the following ways. Firstly, find someone you know to go along with you. This means when introducing yourself to a stranger, you are not alone. Secondly, let's assume you're alone. When you are having a conversation, if you are not comfortable looking into the other person's eyes, then look slightly away, but regularly nod your head in acknowledgement and occasionally glance at them and smile. This indicates to the other person that you are listening to them. Always remember, the more you interact with people, the more comfortable you will feel. That's how your confidence will increase. So don't overthink about networking. Just get out there and connect with people. How to end a conversation? After you have briefly spoken with the other person, there comes a moment when you can sense that the conversation is completed. It is now important to exit gracefully. You could say, "It was great meeting you, Sarah. I wish you the very best in your venture." Or, "It was great talking to you, Tina. Let's connect with some others in the room. Have a great morning." This is how we can gracefully exit and continue to use our time wisely networking with many. Post the networking meet. Send the individual you connected with a WhatsApp text message or an email and a LinkedIn request. Whether WhatsApp text or email, in your written communication, mention to them about something specific about the interaction you had with them. You could pay them a compliment, for example, on their communication style, their innovative business, their sense of style, their sense of humor, etc. Remember, it has to be a genuine compliment. Saying something specific to them will make them recall you and desire to stay in touch with you. This way, networking will build your relationships, build your revenue, and also grow your confidence. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like it, drop a comment, share it with a friend, and subscribe and follow for more valuable content. Elevate your professional journey through networking. I'm Craig Trabasso. Thank you for watching.